beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. How are we, good people? Yes. It is I. Become a warrior teacher. Next start is November, so we've got a little bit of time before it starts. But get signed up anyway. And if you can buy me a coffee, please do, or subscribe to my Substack. That would be superb to help out. I've got an interesting one for you today from the Tory graph. Now, this is about pensioners. Okay, so when it comes to trans nuttery, this is up there for a number of reasons, which we'll cover as we go through it. But I thought, well, this is quite interesting. It's a bit different from what we normally talk about. So let's have a go at it, shall we? Pensioners can also become transgender, care homes told. Right. Is this because their market for kids is drying up? Is that what? Is it because we've been going, get away from kids, you weirdos. Get this crap out of school, you weirdos. And now they've gone, right, that's okay. Let's go to the other end. Let's go see the pensioners. Let's go make some transgender pensioners. Let's see if we can make them mentally ill. Researchers say carers should respect people's pronouns and chosen names, but dodge issues of dementia problems. How do you dodge an issue of dementia problems? I know what they're talking about, because I knew about this a long time ago. Right, is that when they've done all they're going to do, when they've messed about and grown their breasts from the titty skittles and had various bits and bobs cut and primped and whatever, in comes Dr. Dementia and go, hello, I'm here. And suddenly they don't remember. So Mary goes back to being Mark. And then they wake up every day going, where's my penis? Or if they're, a woman, they wake up going, where's my breasts? Because dementia is the ultimate decider, by the way. That's when we realise that actually the entire trans thing is a lie. That's why we've got to stop it for everyone. And it's scary. Yes, it's horrifying. I can't imagine how awful it is for the loved ones as well as for the individual who every single day, or with an irregularity of some kind, has to go through the trauma of trying to understand why their body is mutilated. I can't get my head around that. Pensioners can be trans even if they have lived their whole life in one gender, care homes have been told. The guide for care homes, provided by researchers from the University of Kent. Public money these people are wasting. Is titled Trans and Non-Binary Inclusion and provides care home workers with advice on looking after older, lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans and queer LGBTQ+ people. It tells staff to recognise that older people can be trans even if they have lived their whole life as one gender. It's time for you to belt up, you absolute utter morons. University of Kent. Who authorised it? What ethics committee thought this was a good idea at the University of Kent? What ethics committee? There's a Fruit Loop here somewhere, isn't there, hiding in the background? What ethics committee did this? Does this mean we're going to get, pop-up companies going in and bothering older people? Is it? Is that what's going to happen next, is it? Instead of all sitting there going, right now, we're all going to have a sing-song. What do you fancy? What do you want to... I can see a rainbow. You want to do that? I can see a rainbow, see a rainbow, see a rainbow too. Right? Let's talk about whether you're a man or a woman. I'm 89. Yeah, immaterial. Come on. Explore gender. Explore it. And then they had to force team the lesbians and gays and bisexuals and just get lost, the entire lot of you bunch of bloody homophobes. Workers were also told to educate themselves, there we go, on what it means to be a trans or non-binary. Yeah, all you need to understand about what it means to be trans or non-binary is that it's an absolute delusion on a grand scale. Your comparator for that is the individual that says they're the Napoleon or Lenin, or something like that. Who suddenly gets up one morning and goes, by the way, I'm no longer who I say I am. I'm actually the reincarnation of Felix Elmer. Nobody will know who that is. Who was an old actor. Look him up. Don't look up. I'll put a picture up, all right? Felix Elmer, okay? Insiders within the care sector have criticised the guide. Really? Really? A large proportion of people that work in the care sector are people who have come to Britain to work in the care sector, or in Britain, first generation, have come to Britain to make a life for themselves. May not have this as the first language, may be quite religious, maybe quite, religious people. That's possible, isn't it, eh? But you're going to start thrusting this stuff at them, are you? Ooh, it's not going to end well. You make care homes difficult to employ people in because of these nutters. That won't end well. It's difficult to employ people in them now. One care worker from Somerset, who asked to remain anonymous, said, what about other residents or their families, or even care staff that might have gender critical beliefs? Absolutely. Absolutely. We know that those are protected under the Equality Act, so therefore nobody can be made to use preferred pronouns. We also have to consider single-sex provisions. A female resident might be sharing some facilities with a trans-identifying male. This could compromise her right to dignity and privacy, but most of all, her safety. Yep, that's that. And just to get this absolutely straight, does this mean that you might expect care staff to have to learn how to tuck the old bloke who thinks he's a woman? Is that really? Oh, go on, Rachel, you can do it for me. Yeah, I'm Laura today. Get 'em tucked. Is that what's going to happen? Is it? You're going to facilitate fetishism in care homes, are you? You're going to pamper to paraphilic men? I don't think so. She said, this woman also said, that researchers had ignored other issues that affect trans care home residents. A study by researchers at the University of Ottawa in 2019 found that trans people with dementia forget they had transitioned and re-identify with their gender at birth. Well, they don't forget they've transitioned and re-identified with their gender. They realise they were bonkers by going bonkers. Dementia's a terrible thing. A terrible thing. Right, a terrible thing. But it obviously does something here. It brings something down to a bump. It shows that this entire edifice is made up. It's a construction, right? It has to be, doesn't it? Because it's the constructionists that are behind it, isn't it? The neoliberals, the mad left, and the constructionists behind it. Helen Joyce, the director of advocacy at Human Rights, hi Helen, charity Sex Matters, said the issue is disregarded by the new guidance. The guidance of care homes is a shocking example of the way trans activism harms the most vulnerable in society, she said. By imposing the fictions of gender identity ideology on gender-confused elderly people, it goes against the best interests of residents and staff. You're damn right it does. When I was younger, right, I met lots of old people, old people's homes and things. We used to do these things for the schools. Go and visit the old people and talk to them. Not one of them was ever said to me, "Have you questioned your gender, lad? Have you ever questioned your gender?" No, not one of them. But I did meet a guy who was 106 years old, lived on a PO. He was amazing. Sam. What stories he told. Bearing in mind that was about 1974 and he was 106 or 103, I think, one of those. Right? Gender ideology in care homes. Rather than offering practical, compassionate advice on how to provide care in these difficult situations, this guide treats vulnerable residents as props in a fantasy of gender affirmation, Helen continues. The University of Kent, which produced the guide as part of a larger research study called Circle, said it was written by older LGBTQ+ people and care providers. Care homes can request a copy of the guide online, which can be printed out, and it comes with a poster that can be displayed to indicate the home and staff are working on LGBTQ+ inclusion. Oh, get bent, right? It wasn't written by LGBTQ people. It was written by the T's and the Q's, wasn't it? Most lesbians and gays are going to go, fuck up with this. Unless they're mad, neoliberals or leftists. We've got a few of them about at the moment, haven't we? Bloody nutters. Go read the rest, because it gets interesting. It gets interesting, but they can't do it without forced teaming the LGBT and the Q. Go and have a look and see what I mean, and then let me know what you think in the comments, because I think they're all bloody mental. I need a bigger fruit bowl for me Fruit Loops. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.